Good morning everyone, and welcome to Bland County Survivor Man. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really do thank you. Hey guys, it's a September morning out there and you can hear the rain coming down pretty good. I see the squirrels is out eating some good old nuts and stuff that come out on the trees this year, so that's going to make some good hunting this year. But anyway, what I'm going to discuss today guys is how that I created this quiver right here and the arrows that I've got inside the quiver. And to do a little explaining for my younger viewers just how I did this. Now the quiver is made from the deer skin that I tanned here last year and done a smoke on. And the quiver is 24 inches long. The hair's still on it, of course. It's a hair on tan. What I did was took this piece of PVC pipe right here and I made that about as long as my quiver is, and I rolled that piece of hide up around the quiver or around that piece of PVC and simply let it lap over and cut it off like you do when you're laying carpet. And that turned out to be a pretty nice quiver. I kind of like it. And this one right here is not going to be hung on my back. It's going to be hung on my belt for a reason. Here in the woods, as thick as it is, a quiver that hangs way up on your back, well, the arrows will get hung on the brush if it's hung around like this. That will get hung on the brush and you'll tear up and break your arrows. So guys, that's what the quiver looks like. The bottom of the quiver has a piece of cedar wood that I've cut round and glued in the bottom of it. And that'll keep your arrows from punching through. I'm going to take out the arrows right here, set that right over there, and show you my arrows and show you the points on them and let you see that. Now the first one I created, this is a bone point. This is about the easiest point that I've actually made here, and I didn't use rocks or anything to do this with. I actually took a bandsaw and cut that point out of a deer bone, and it's out of the rib of the bone. And I found out when I started doing this that those deer bones all of them are crooked, so it took me a while to figure out how to get a good straight arrow out of that stuff. Now the next one I've got right here is made out of Osidium. Some of the sharpest, well, probably the sharpest thing going out there in the wild. I don't know where in my neck of the woods you can find this stuff right here. So I went to the Wolf Creek Indian Village here in Bland County, Virginia, and purchased me a few already made arrowheads. And that's a pretty nice looking arrowhead. And I'm actually going to use these to hunt with. Incidentally, I did not tie these on in the traditional way. I took 5-minute epoxy and glued them on. So that's obsidian. Then I just bought a couple of more regular Flint arrowheads. They're already made, like I say. That's what they look like. And they're just ready to use. They're already turned into arrowheads. Now, my steel arrowheads, this is just to show you how you can do it if you wanted to make a traditional bow to hunt with. There's a steel arrowhead, very sharp, and I created the pattern for this and had these made from a DXF. Same thing here, there's my target point. And they work good. You can shoot and shoot and shoot these right here. I've already tried it and done it. You can shoot them, and the things will just keep right on hanging in there. And I found that the traditional way of gluing them in with hide glue and tying them down just wasn't working out real good when you miss. So I had to glue the things in with 5-minute epoxy, which works really good. Now the feathers, But guys, the feathers can be just about anything. The feathers can be plastic, paper, leaves, whatever in a survival situation. These are turkey tail feathers, and they're glued on with hot glue. And that lasts real good. Now, one thing you definitely want to do is right back here, young fellers, is you definitely want to trim down and tie them feathers down. And in a survival situation, I hope that you've got some dental floss in your survival pack, because that's what you can tie the feathers down with. Without any glue, you can actually just tie these feathers on, and that works. I mean, just as long as they're tied on there, it's going to work. But you definitely want to tie this end down right here, so that when that arrow comes across your hand, that those feathers, that feather don't catch and hit your hand, because that's going to lay your hand wide open. That's how I've done it. And the way I usually put the knock in the back of the arrow is just take a small file, just a little old chainsaw file about that size right there, not more than 3/16 chainsaw file, and just cut that knock into that arrow. So that's the way that works. Now, one thing I want to show you right here is a way to, let's say you want to make you some homemade arrows. I've invented a device right here, and I know that looks like that come from the factory, but it's actually I designed and had this made at a factory. And what I did it for was, when you're out in the field or in your workshop, wherever, and you're trying to work down an arrow to the right dimensions down the arrow, you can simply pick whatever hole size that you want in this stick. I think this one right here ended up being about 3/8. But anyway, what you do is, I've got little slots right here cut in this thing. And instead of having to whittle down that thing all the way around, you can simply take that right there and very quickly, it's a scraper tool is what it really is. You can very quickly cut that arrowhead down to the right dimensions, and it's already curved to the size that you want. See how that works? And that's what you do. That's what I use it for. It's a sizing tool. You can cut out, this side over here is made to where if you want cuts or dips in a piece of wood, you can sit that down inside there and scrape out that particular size dip. So that's a really good tool to have, and it's easy to make. At your workshop at home, if you want this tool right here, not this particular part right here, but if you just want the holes in the slots, just get you a piece of 11 gauge metal and drill those holes in there with a drill 2 times. Just take a jigsaw and cut those up, cut that piece off right there, and you'll have that same tool. Be just a little bit harder for you to make, but that's the easiest way I know to do it. Alright, let's say you're out there in the field and you've made you a bunch of arrows, but they're crooked. And you've got crooked places in them, like this piece of multiflora rose right here. By the way, in my neck of the woods, I found that multiflora rose in a survival situation is a very good device, or a very good plant. This thing right here is hollow on the inside and is easy to mount the knock. It's easy to mount the feathers. It's easy to mount your arrowhead because it's already hollow and light on the inside, but really tough on the outside. It's also good to make a bow drill fire or a hand drill fire. Now what I've got right here is an arrow straightener made out of a deer leg. You simply drill the size hole that you're normally using for your arrows. This thing right here is a straightening tool that I designed, out of a deer bone leg, and all you have to do is just come along and find all the little crooks inside that the length of your arrow there, and just straighten them out. And just make sure that you do it slow and heat it up over your campfire, and that's basically all there is to that right there. So that's the way we're going to do our arrow straightening, and that's the easiest way that I know how to do it. Now guys, I showed you my hickory bow that I made a video about my hickory bow, and right there it is. I encountered a couple of problems with the bow over the year of it drying out. I've actually got a little crack that come in it down here where I left that knot in there, and I'm thinking about doing a little lamination on the back of the bow there to stiffen it up or make it a little bit stronger. But it will actually shoot an arrow right now 100 yards, and I'm going to use it to hunt with this fall. So that's my hickory bow. Now for you guys who live in the cities, I didn't want to leave you guys out. I know some of you don't have access to that kind of stuff that you can, you can make hickory bows and stuff like that with. So here's a PVC bow. This thing has a PVC handle on it, just a piece of water pipe, plastic water pipe, and of course it's a fiberglass bow. It's about 60 inches long, 1 inch wide, and has bale and twine string on it. And the thing shoots super good. Let you see that obsidian arrow pointing at you. That thing right there just cuts you in half. It ain't no wonder that when natives figured out how to make arrowheads out of that stuff right there, that their kill rate had to have went up, because that stuff is sharp as a razor. Sharper than steel when it gets really sharp. And surgeons back in those days used that stuff to do surgery on people. But anyway, there it is for you guys that live in the cities or in the country, whoever wants to make one. It's simple to make. It takes about an hour to make this particular bow right here, and it pulls out at about 45 pounds. And you can shoot it and shoot it and shoot it. It can get wet, no problem. The thing will continue to shoot just exactly the way it did the first pull. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video that I've made here about my arrows and my quiver. So guys, that's another tip from your Bland County Survivor Man. Have a nice day.